Hey everyone, Phil Conway hopping on this last day of April. And what a beautiful weather we've been having in the Boston area as most of the country appears to be really getting into the spring. So, continuing in the spring cleaning of our mind and closing out the month, we're going to be talking about right now the fourth step, specialized knowledge and Think and Grow Rich in 10 minutes. And we're talking about the idea of these principles that when we align with all of them, we really find that we can have the outcome for a peace of mind. We can have high levels of joy, regardless of what adversities we go through, and whether it's in our money psychology, our financial situation, our relationships, our health, or more, our spirituality, our spiritual presence, whatever it happens to be, aligning with these principles, we don't have to be that hamster in a wheel. We can take that chaos that's happening outside of us and leave it outside of us, because inside we have zero limits and we have more power in each of us than anything outside of us when we start to behave, think, we have the habits, and then we see the results that allow us to really just be living free. And what's it like to be living free? We don't have to be concerned. We can be aware of, and we can do everything in service for other people. Yet it really begins with ourselves. Nobody's going to save us. Nobody's going to do the work for us. If you're going to be exercising, no one does your push-ups for you. It's all in the mind. It's in the emotions. It's in the habits. Those are the actions. And because of those actions, and because we have an intention for serving others, that everyone has win, 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 as in the self-confidence formula. So as we're stepping into this specialized knowledge chapter, this is where we begin to nourish ourselves, and we start to be in an environment with the mastermind, for example. The mastermind is a group of people, each with their own specialized knowledge, and we start to apply it. So as we're talking about the idea that there is either general or specific, think of it like a board certified surgeon in a particular practice, that's specialized knowledge. People who might have in the mechanic world maybe is certain kinds of cars. It could be international cars, it could be trucks, it could be sports cars, whatever it happens to be. Maybe it's cars that are older, cars that are new, whatever it happens to be. There's machinery to go with it, as well as the awareness and the specialized knowledge of the person who's operating it. And really the idea that we're looking at education, the idea that education really isn't about teaching somebody that something they already know. Education, in the words of John Ruskin, is helping or teaching or showing someone how to behave or act as they have not been behaving. Within that, there's this knowing doing gaps, and this is why there's that gap between what we know and what we do leaves the obstacles that are in front of us, because knowledge is not power. Many years people have this myth that, oh, the more knowledge I can gain, the more powerful I'll become. It's true that power is going to be the way that we can achieve things, yet the power doesn't come from knowledge. Knowledge is, it's one cog in the wheel. Knowledge is one part that's powerful when it is put into action. So knowledge itself is only potential. And there's a big distinct difference and the idea too that an educated man is not necessarily one who has an abundance of general or specialized knowledge. An educated man is one who's so developed the faculties of the mind, how they think, the intrusive thoughts are filtered out, focus, imagination, perception, the will, focus. So they develop the faculties of the mind that they may acquire anything they want or its equivalent without violating the rights of others. And this is a key part of integrity, is that how do we not force an issue upon another person? Yes, all 9 billion people can be acting independently and free, as well as have the desire to have everybody living together in unity. It could be the 12 people who are in your organization. It could be the 5,000 people in a group you're in. It could be the 300 million people in your country. Whatever it happens to be, it's the idea that we're not forcing other people, most often because we all have unique perspectives. And from our unique perspectives, those ideas that use us, to have the self-confidence in that and really be living out the core within us, our why, the purpose, going back to the earlier principles. So I know we talked the last time about the idea of the auto-suggestion, and the action item was to be writing out, that conversation from yourself to yourself, and also recognizing that the next step beyond that conversation is being in an environment that supports you of where you're going. The idea is to call upon groups of people together, and with somebody having an answer of how to do this or what they've done in the past, their experiences and what they know, we can identify gaps, and from those gaps, we behave differently. We'll see different results. So knowledge itself is relatively inexpensive. There are books, there are videos, and we can have that. Yet, what good is that knowledge if it's just sitting there? Someone could win Jeopardy, but that's not really taking action. It's really learning how to move it forward. So this way, the educated person knows where to get the knowledge that they need. They don't have to know it. Think of, for example, Henry Ford didn't know how to make a car. He just knew what he wanted the outcome to be. Steve Jobs knew that he wanted the outcome of the computer, which became ultimately the Mac and also the Apple as a company, the iPhones, and having some great technology people who had the specialized knowledge, but they didn't have the same vision. And this is why it comes to surround ourselves with groups of people who, together, those different specialized knowledge will work, and they will achieve some great things. In the accumulation of great fortunes, as Napoleon Hill goes on, it requires the power. As you mentioned, knowledge is not power, but the group together, specialized knowledge, is going to be acquired and directly through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. So this is why how going through coaching, for example, it's going to be powerful information. It's going to be intelligently, professionally organized in such a way that it makes it easy to acquire that knowledge from other people. And within the group, different people will have different insights. And from there, we all learn together how we can take those steps and move forward. And this is why it's one of the very important chapters that Napoleon Hill talks about, so that we can start to separate out from, why books don't work on their own, why videos don't work on their own. It's because it just sits there and it's something that people can recite, people can test it, yet the testing doesn't really show whether or not we apply it. And that is the key. Action, action, action. Matter of fact, action is mentioned 77 times in Think and Grow Rich. So as part of the spring cleaning of our mind, and we're taking these principles so that we can have a peace of mind, how is it that you develop your own specialized knowledge? And how many people do you bring in to your world, whether it's professionally, in your career, in your relationships, in your health, in your personal world, sports, music, people who have this specialized knowledge, and willingly and openly we share it, and together we accomplish those big things And remember, it's really about not forcing. It's about the idea of finding ways to serve people in a win-win-win, having integrity. So this way, we all have that high amounts of freedom. We have higher levels of joy, and we also have that outcome of peace of mind. What's that worth from your consideration? So this has been the closing out April with specialized knowledge, these principles and how they can be aligned in your life. And if there's something that you have a question about those principles so far of what we talked, or interested in joining a book club where we study deeper into these things, let me know what works for you. How do you grow your specialized knowledge? By acquiring other people in your group to share their specialized knowledge, growing and developing that power for good.